What if I told you that becoming rich isn't reserved for geniuses, celebrities, or people born into wealthy families? What if I told you that millions of people spend their entire lives working hard, yet never become financially free? And even more shocking, the reason has almost nothing to do with intelligence, or luck, or even how much money they earn. Because every day, doctors go broke, athletes lose fortunes, lottery winners become bankrupt. Meanwhile, ordinary people with average salaries quietly become millionaires. Why? Because getting rich is not simply about making money. It's about understanding how money actually works. And most people never learn the rules of the game. They spend decades climbing a ladder, only to realize the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. Tonight, we're going to uncover why most people never get rich, the hidden mistakes keeping millions financially trapped, and the principles that have helped ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. Because by the end of this video, you may realize that becoming rich isn't impossible, but it does require thinking differently than the majority. From childhood, most of us hear the same advice. Study hard, get good grades, find a secure job, work hard, save money, and one day, you'll be rich. But there's one problem. This formula rarely creates wealth. It creates stability. There's a difference. Being financially stable means your bills are paid. Being wealthy means your money continues growing whether you're working or not. Think about it. A person earning $300,000 per year can still be financially trapped if they stop earning tomorrow. But someone with assets generating income every month has freedom. The world teaches us how to earn money. Very few people are taught how to build wealth. And this misunderstanding changes everything. Because income can disappear, wealth can remain. Every morning, millions of people wake up to the same routine. Alarm, breakfast, traffic, work, stress, sleep, repeat. For years, sometimes decades, they work harder, get promotions, earn raises, but somehow, they still don't feel rich. Why? Because their expenses rise along with their income. This is called lifestyle inflation. A bigger salary leads to a bigger apartment, a better car, more expensive vacations, more subscriptions, more liabilities, and suddenly, they're earning more than ever before, yet still living paycheck to paycheck. Because getting richer and becoming wealthy are not the same thing. Most people increase their lifestyle. Rich people increase their assets. One creates temporary pleasure. The other creates lasting freedom. Here's perhaps the biggest reason why most people never become rich. They spend their lives chasing money. Rich people chase ownership. Ownership of businesses. Ownership of stocks. Ownership of real estate. Ownership of intellectual property. Because assets work differently. Assets can make money while you sleep. Your salary requires your time. An asset can generate income repeatedly. This is why wealthy people ask a completely different question. Most people ask, how much money did I make this month? Rich people ask, what did I buy that will keep paying me? That single shift in thinking can completely change your financial future. Because money itself isn't wealth. Productive assets are. Imagine placing $100,000 under your mattress. 20 years later, you still have $100,000. Sounds safe, but in reality, you became poorer. Because inflation silently destroys purchasing power. Prices rise, costs increase, money buys less. The process is so gradual that most people barely notice. Yet year after year, their savings lose value. This is why wealthy people rarely allow large amounts of money to remain idle. They put money to work. Because idle money slowly dies. Invested money has the opportunity to grow. The rich understand something important. Cash is useful, but cash is not the destination. Cash is fuel, and fuel only matters when it's powering something. Albert Einstein supposedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he actually said it or not, the principle itself is extraordinary. Compounding means your money begins generating additional money, and then that new money begins generating even more money. At first, growth feels painfully slow. Then something incredible happens. The growth starts accelerating. Small amounts become large amounts. Years become decades. And suddenly, the results look almost magical. This is why many wealthy people seem to become richer very quickly. You're not seeing the beginning. You're seeing decades of compounding. And here's the painful truth. Most people underestimate what small investments can become over long periods of time. Because our brains understand linear growth, we struggle to understand exponential growth. Yet fortunes are often built exponentially. One of the greatest investments ever made doesn't involve stocks. or real estate, or businesses. It's knowledge. The wealthy understand that money often follows value, and value often follows knowledge, skills, understanding, experience, financial education. The more problems you can solve, the more valuable you become, and the marketplace rewards value. Think about it. The world's highest earners often possess rare skills: leadership, sales, communication, investing, business building, negotiation, technology. Knowledge can create opportunities that money alone never could. This is why the rich are obsessed with learning. Because information changes decisions, and decisions change lives. Fear. This may be the greatest wealth destroyer of all. Fear of failure. Fear of investing. Fear of losing money. Fear of looking foolish. Fear causes people to stay comfortable, to avoid opportunities, to delay action, to wait for perfect timing. But perfect timing rarely exists. Every successful entrepreneur failed. Every investor made mistakes. Every wealthy person experienced uncertainty. The difference is simple. They acted despite fear, because they understood something profound. The biggest risk isn't making mistakes. The biggest risk is spending your entire life avoiding them. There is one resource that every billionaire and every ordinary person receives equally: time. 24 hours, no exceptions. Money lost can be recovered. Businesses can fail and be rebuilt. Investments can recover. Time cannot. This is why wealthy people protect their time obsessively. They delegate, automate, leverage, build systems, because they understand something most people ignore. Money can create more money. Time cannot create more time. Every financial decision is ultimately a time decision, because wealth isn't merely about owning things. It's about buying freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of movement, freedom of time. So, why do most people never get rich? Because they were taught to work for money. Instead of making money work for them, they chase income instead of building assets. They spend more when they earn more. They fear risk, ignore compounding, underestimate knowledge, and trade their time for money indefinitely. But here's the good news. Wealth isn't a mystery. The principles are surprisingly simple. Spend less than you earn, invest consistently, build valuable skills, own productive assets, think long-term, protect your time, and allow compounding to work its magic. Because becoming rich isn't about making one brilliant decision. It's about making hundreds of small decisions correctly, again and again, for years. And perhaps that's the greatest secret of all. Most people never become rich, not because they can't, but because they never learn the rules of the game. Now you do. The question is no longer, can I become rich? The real question is, will I do what most people are unwilling to do? Because the future you're dreaming about may be built by the financial decisions you make starting today.